Yo, what is up? What is up? I hope everyone's having somewhat of a okay day. I mean, somewhat all right. Hopefully it's not too bad for everybody, but obviously with how this team is right now, and it was really a lot to go over, it was a tough couple days, definitely, no doubt. It was really hard to even watch football tonight because I get jealous when I see other teams just playing better, even subpar teams that are playing better than us, or even playing with more heart than us in some cases. And it's it's really draining in a lot of ways. And I don't know what's going to go on this week, unfortunately. Eagles are going to slide to the 5th seed or whatever's going to happen. I don't think they're obviously not going to get 1st seed just because of, San Francisco's not going to lose a game. Unless they lose a game, there's only a chance that anybody else can really get 1st seed at this point. There's got to be a big coaching aspect going on right now. Now, we don't know what's going on. There's been a lot of rumors behind what's been going on with the locker room, that a lot of players just seem uninterested in this scheme. There's been players complaining about, and they're not even naming who these players are. There are players complaining about the route combinations and why it takes so long to develop routes, and why this quarterback, because how many times we've seen Jalen Hurts, kind of sit back in the pocket for 10 seconds, and these routes are not developing quick enough, just like how the Cowboys, did to us yesterday. You know what I mean? So I took the loss like a man, and we got our asses kicked, and, that's it. That's it. I mean, should there be a midseason fire? I don't know. I'm feeling it a little bit. I'm kind of feeling myself a little bit on that. I don't know, because do the Eagles have enough time to change the whole entire I don't know. Do the Eagles, want to change an entire playbook in like a short amount of time? I mean, there is like 4 weeks left, but how many changes are they actually going to make? It's unfortunate, but we'll see what happens. But we got 200 people in the chat. I want to thank everybody for showing up, and obviously I ask, we'll go over all your questions, obviously good ones, ones that make fucking sense. Going into this stream, we got Logan, we got Matt Weeks, we got Casey. What's going on? We have Jim Rugger. What's going on? We have Nathan, MJ, DB Cooper. We got Trexler, Hexel, Art, Robert Jones. Let's see, Mike, Renata. What's going on? Donnie, what's going on? So, now the question is going to this week, like, are the players speaking up? Because once the players start speaking up, that's it. But when you really look at this whole entire thing down the food chain, it starts with Howie Roseman, because it's already enough. I don't like the analytical offense and how they just don't have a feel for the game. This is analytically just run by analytics. This is what we did. This is what we did with Frank Reich for 2 years. Even the Super Bowl year, this is what we did. But the difference is, offensively, we made adjustments. And it seems like this offense just doesn't make adjustments. Getting certain guys open, specific plays, the routes take too long to develop. I don't know what's going on half the time. And Jalen Hurts is struggling because of this passive system that has no creativity. The Eagles are ranked last in motion plays. They use no motion. It's just that bad. And defensively, there's no point in paying cornerbacks. There's no point in paying defensive linemen. You can't get a pass rush. You're not helping your pass rush. You're barely blitzing. You're barely taking a shot. You're not doing much of anything. The defense is just giving up as many yards as possible every single week, just because that's just what it is. That's what you get out of a off-ball defense the way it is. And it's horrible. It really sucks, to be honest with you. For all we know, JoJo says Lurie and Howie with their will to control everything is the damn problem. I agree. I think it really comes down to both of them and what they want to do with Nick. And I mean, look, I think Nick's a good coach. I think his emotions have no effect on this team. I think his emotions are fine in check. I think he's a player's coach. I think players want to play for him, but when you start losing games like this, we gotta see what happens. You know. Lou says, yeah, it should be because regardless if we continue to play with the same playbook, we're losing anyway. Yeah, I mean, you're not. You got to change things up, and I don't know if they're going to do it. Eagles fans, the Eagles coaching is doing everything the front office tells them to do. Howie Lurie and his son play significant roles in the game planning. I really hope that's not the case. But if something wasn't said for this many weeks, it's a big problem. Let's see. We got Conklin says Frank Reich will be a good offensive coordinator. Jack Del Rio or Seth Joyner for defensive coordinator. I mean, Seth won't coach. I mean, Seth is definitely. Seth is not getting coached. Seth is not coaching anybody. Frank Reich, I figured he would be like an offensive assistant with this team. After he got fired from the Panthers, that's what I thought. I mean, this could be more of a next year type move, most likely. I don't know. But we'll say. Joseph says, who's getting fired? Clickbait? No, it says midseason fire ? So that's the question. It's not clickbait. Wish says the funny how everyone is laughing at the Eagles, but I truly feel like we can go all the way and prove a lot of people wrong in the media, and a lot of people go hard when we lose, and when we win, still excuses. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that have done this. Tampa Bay has lost against the Saints 2 times in 1 year when Tom Brady was the quarterback over there. It's happened before. I mean, does it mean that the Eagles can't get back to where they are? No, I mean, but they're not going to have a home field advantage, and they're going to need a perfect playbook. They're going to need to play actual football and not this analytical bullshit offensively. And this defense, I don't know how much you can actually change. I don't know how much you can actually change at this point. There's fixable shit that they could do. I mean, the question is, are they going to do it this week? Because I'm not ready to because I'm telling you right now, like I'm already wanting to get one of these coordinators fired at least. Whether it's BrianJohnson and then you bring obviously Frank Reich in, which I think that should be more of a next year type move. But Nick has got to let go of the control over both these coordinators because Nick wanted this Jonathan Gannon type system going into this year. And he got it and got the right coach for it, apparently. And it's been worse. This defense has been worse than last year. So not too great. Not too great. Mike says, what am I surprised at the Eagles offense? I don't understand why every play looks like a broken play. Everything looks sloppy. And it looks predictable. The players in the locker room this morning, apparently yesterday, were saying that this offense looks an anonymous person talked about the receiver group. Probably was a receiver. I wouldn't doubt it. Whoever it was. Could have been Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown or somebody. Okay. This is different now because now some anonymous player on the Eagles offense did say that this offense is predictable, which it is. Like I said, you don't use any snap motion. They're the same run play, inside zone, no or barely any RPOs at all. There's if you're even the 4th and 9 play that they did, and like they threw under the sticks to Devontae Smith, just shit that just makes absolutely no sense. You can't get a run game. How many runs DeAndre Swift had? 8, 9. I mean, it was more than last week by like 3 runs, 4 runs. Still not running with Devontae Smith. Still not running with DeAndre Swift. Sorry. Still not doing it. It's just, that's where we're at. That's where this whole thing lies. This is where it is. Michael Goldberg with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. He says all 3 linebackers were on waivers at some point. I don't know. And that's another problem too. I mean, linebackers a bigger problem than what it is right now. But, we'll see what happens. Christian Ellis is gone now, so you have to worry about, some other things. Hold on. I'm going to try to get my stream up. Try to get my stream up. Appreciate the super chat, by the way. Chris says we just need A, get rid of the OC and DC, or B, get them some veteran assistants and trace them, teach them how to be a professional football coach. The players are not the issue. If coached by, they be elite. Well, yeah, I think you always have to blame players for something. But I feel like this is more of a coaching aspect. This is more of now I think the nucleus of this team has been damaged. I think mostly the nucleus of this team has been damaged as in the culture. I think the culture is a huge problem right now. I think it really is a huge problem, unfortunately. Really sucks. Don't want to get into this situation, but this is, what happens. And, you don't want to go through anything like this with your football team. You don't. Chris says this is how the unraveling starts, unnamed and anonymous sources. Yeah, it's going to be that way for right now. And then I don't know. I mean, if we really seriously, I mean, look, I think this is do or die this week. This is a do or die game this week against Seattle Monday Night Football. It really is, because I really don't feel like sitting through another game where this team gets manhandled. I don't feel like seeing it. I feel like at this point, like I've seen enough and changes have to be made. It's little changes that have to be made. There's nothing really that serious. I mean, I don't know. I feel like whatever they could fix, I feel like they can get help from Frank Reich. I feel like they could do so much more right now. But we'll see. R. Randall says, what's the reason they're not using? Oh, they're not using Penny. Well, because he's not good. They must not think he's good. If they haven't used him to this point, okay, if they haven't used him to this point, they don't think he's good at all. Okay, that's the truth. And I don't want to say that's the truth, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. Bill says, do we forget that we beat Dallas not long ago? We are capable. Our schedule is brutal. Chill out. Whatever. We'll be fine. No other team has gone through what we just did. These guys need to hold it together. Oh, that's somewhat true. I mean, you fumbled 3 times. Where Dallas literally had, took over field advantage. I mean, you literally gave them yards by fumbling the football. That's got to stop. The Eagles had a couple drops from Devontae Smith, a crucial drop from A.J. Brown. It's just affected this whole team at this point, where they just got their ass kicked against the 49ers and then roll in and get their ass kicked again, by the Cowboys. So it's not something you want to see, every day. So every week has been, the Eagles haven't played good football all year. I've never said this football. I've never said this year. I've never said this team is elite or this team is. I think this team showed a lot of poise. I think they showed a lot of resilience. But this team hasn't played a full game of good football this year. They haven't. They have not played a full game of good football. That's been the whole thing with them this year, as that they've been a second half team. And you don't want to see it. That's the way it is. But it's hard. What's going on, Loyal? Ohana says the Eagles are drained and exhausted, both mentally and physically. We need the first seed more than ever. It's probably not going to happen now. It's definitely not going to happen now. You had a chance, at least against the 49ers. You at least try to have a chance. But the 49ers aren't losing a game. If they lose a game, there's a chance that the first seed could be a lot different. But it's probably not. It's not going to. Kamikaslama says, Joey, this team is done. They're one and done in the playoffs. Right now, they're one and done. There's no doubt they are. What changes they make going forward this week, something's got to be done. Something's got to be said. So Jarrell Ray says, Frank won't help. It's deeper than I'm going to tell you. I'm going to shoot you the message on X in a few minutes. I've been thinking about this a lot today. Okay. Empires Texas enjoyed the week. Terry said, refs completely helped Dallas beat Seattle. Your defense couldn't stop them. Only refs. That was a pretty ugly game. But I've seen uglier from mine. So I think we need to having Hurts under center and use bunch sets. Stop blitzing Bradbury and Roby. Stop dropping Nolan and and Hassan in coverage. Rush 4 or 5 and play different coverages on the back end. Yeah, well, that's what they don't do. And they don't rush 5 ever. They don't rush 5 ever. This defense does not rush 5. I mean, Slay, I thought Slay actually had a good game. The last 2 weeks, he's actually played pretty damn well. This week, he actually played pretty good. He had a PI call that I thought was bullshit because it was an underthrown ball anyway on some holding, but it is what it is, you know? I mean, look, I don't get why Dallas fans and 49er fans are licking each other's dicks right now, holding hands with each other, because at the end of the day, laugh now, cry later, because both of those teams, since the Eagles aren't going to have the first seed, both of those teams could be facing off first. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to end well. It's not going to, for the 49ers, it's going to end perfectly for them, might. But for Dallas, they still got to play the Bills. They still got to play Miami. They still got to play Detroit. And they probably got to face the Niners again. So there's a long road ahead still. It's let's gang up on the Philadelphia Eagles for double teaming and double penetrating the Eagles in the ass. Okay, but at the end of the day, you know, that's what it is, man. It's what's going to happen. They're holding hands. They're holding hands. And sooner or later, they're going to hate each other. And sooner or later, one of those teams is going to be really fucking disappointed. So that's what's going to happen. Laugh now, cry later, because the crying's going to happen soon. Might not happen now, but it's going to happen later. And then it'll be disappearing for weeks. Disappearing. Chris said, another ring. The Cowboys made the same dumb mistake when they came to Philly, but we should have blew them out of the water. Another game we trailed in the first half. Well, yeah, that's been the same thing. JJ says, why are y'all trying to fire coaching staff? Y'all balled all year. Well, dude, we haven't played 4 quarters of good. Tell me one game the Eagles played 4 quarters of good football. They haven't. They haven't played 4 quarters of good football ever. Not one game this year. Ray says, I love the Eagles for 50 years. This team has always gone through collapsing, but this is coaching, not players. It's more coaching than players. It's 100% more coaching than players, no doubt. Joe said, it's funny to see people still trying to blame the refs. I'm tired of the referee bullshit. I'm just tired of it. Every fucking week, it's the same shit. It's the same shit every week. Same shit. Nothing changed. Billy said, D. Lawrence taking a while, crazy shit in the press conference. Can't wait till they lose. Just give it time. Just give it time. I mean, I don't know. The Cowboys still have to face 2 pretty good teams in back-to-back games. Detroit really not being a great team. And they still got to go into the playoffs and probably play the 49ers again. So I'm just going to sit and wait, as I always do. And things will happen. You said it didn't matter as long as you were winning. Well, no. I mean, if you're winning, winning heals everything. Winning doesn't matter. I mean, winning heals everything when you're fucking winning games the way you're winning games. I mean, it's affected us now because the Eagles haven't played a second half game the last 2 weeks. The Eagles haven't played the same in 2 weeks. So at the time, yeah, of course it was fine. But now it's not because the Eagles have lost 2 straight games. It's not like the Eagles have come back in 2 games the last few weeks and a couple weeks and lost. That's the difference of what's been going on. I mean, it's over now. I mean, it's only going to last for so long, so you can't play in your first half of football games. That's what happens. Alex says, I lost hope in 1 year. The team never really had to start from the beginning. What is the standard, Jalen? Every week, you and 500 say they haven't played their best game. It's because they suck. It's the coaching, bro. I try to figure this shit out every single week on why they run it. It's Nick Sirianni, it's Howie Roseman, and it's how they run things. That's just what it is. I can't tell you specifically what it is, but it's obviously a coaching problem. It's obviously that. Not putting your players in the right positions to win football games. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Let's see. Thomas Rodriguez says, I'm tired of hearing that we haven't played to the standard, that we haven't played our best game yet. Like it's weak. I know. Well, that's the truth, though. The Eagles have never peaked this year. You know what I mean? The only team that has it. That's what it's been. That's what it's been. It's always been like that. Matt says the coach up from behind play calling have all call up to this. It really has. It really has. Torville says, I think we lose two more. One to Seattle and one to the other one. Our defense is bad. I think the Eagles have too much analytic interference from the front office. And I think that's true too. I don't think, if they don't make any changes this week, and I don't know, I don't have them winning in Seattle. If this continues like this, I don't think they even. Number one, you haven't won in Seattle in so long. I don't care if Russell Wilson's not there or not. So we'll see. Willie, what's going on, dude? Chris says, did Shane really make that much of a difference? Yeah, he did. Yes. Oh, you're saying yes. Yeah. Chris understands what me. When Shane Steichen didn't get the job with when Shane Steichen didn't get the job with the Panthers, I was just really excited. I really thought they would have kept him this year, but I felt like because I don't know. BrianJohnson's done well with quarterbacks over his years. But now finding out last week that it's been around Nick's game plan, not BrianJohnson's. Could that be a big difference? I can't tell when shit starts and when it ends. You know what I mean? That's the shit that annoys the crap out of me. Alex says it's the coaching, but BJ didn't fumble every ball and have fumbled 8 fumbles on the year for Jalen 7 straight games. I get it, dude. It's going to be on players too, because if the scheme is going to fail you, the players are going to fail at times as well. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts has never made mistakes, because he has, but I don't think he's the worst quarterback, or I don't even think it's really much of a down year. I think he's made some bad decisions this year, but this is a 10-3 team right now, but I can't look at it like that anymore as they're 10-3. I have to look at it as they lost two back-to-back games where they got their shit pushed in by the 49ers, and then they just got their ass kicked again. No fire, no pushback, no nothing the week after against a rival, against a team that you should know what they do. And they look like they're just playing their basic shit, not really doing much of anything. And that's a problem. You know what I mean? We got Billy Williams in the super chat. Thank you so much, man. He said, this looks like Nick's 2021 play calling. You think it's possible he's calling plays again? Yes, I do. Now, I don't think he's actually calling plays, but I think there's something going on to where he is. I saw a play sheet in his hand last game against Dallas. He had a play sheet. He was checking shit off on the play sheet. I think he's got a couple sheets of paper in BrianJohnson's clipboard. Dave Spadaro just talked to a fan last week. Literally, Dave Spadaro was opening questions up to fans last week and saying, hey, one Eagle fan was like, hey, how is this, who runs this offense? What's going on? He says, oh, is this around Nick Sirianni? And Dave Spadaro said, yes, this is around Nick's game plan. It all goes down to Nick, and then obviously the coordinators piggyback more information towards Nick for the game plan on top of analytics. And when you run your offense on analytics, I feel like coaches can't get a feel for the game. I feel like if you run your offense on analytics, you can't get a feel for the game, and you can't get an identity for this team. There's no identity. What's our identity? There's no identity this year. 10-3, and we don't have an identity. 10-3, and you got embarrassed 2 weeks straight. That's what happened. I 100% know, 100% know that Nick has his hands all over that playbook. That there's some BrianJohnson shit in there, but by the time BrianJohnson's going to do it, it's on both. Both of them together it's not a match made in heaven. I think we all know this. I think we all know this shit. at this point. You know what I mean? Hold on. Sorry. I'm trying to do this the right way here. Okay. We have a super chat from Outlaw. Says, them not playing to our standard doesn't apply anymore. 10, 11 games, and you're not still playing like this. This is the standard. Yes. It reminds me of Carson Wentz coming out of every press conference, post-game press conference, and saying, oh, we need to be better. We need to be better. We need to be better. That's what it reminds me of. You know what I mean? That's what it reminds me of. Fat Fox says, Joey, do you think the Eagles should just give up the division to Dallas so they can rest their stars against the Week 17? No. I think they have to win the division. I think they have to do it. They have to do something. I think they have a bigger chance on locking up the division. Okay? They have a bigger chance on that right now. And they're going to be in the playoffs. I'm not worried about that. But, playoffs or not, I'm not going to say I don't care because this is a problem right now. I view them as a 3-10 team right now. It's fucking true, bro. It's true. Well, it says, could have kept Steichen because he was the reason that offense was hands down badass. Yeah, it's unfortunate. TK says, too late to change this team. They are who they are. Hector says the Eagles are playing like it's a preseason game. No, they're playing like they don't know what they're doing. That's pretty much been the entire year for half of your games, for your first half of games. So it sucks. Matt says no one crying upset. Yeah, I don't mean, look, like anybody would be upset over a fucking loss like this. Torville says there's a reason the Eagles can't land high-profile coordinators. Schwartz couldn't wait to leave because the front office wants to game plan. Yeah, I'm figuring out that's probably, I think that I'm trying to figure out the reasons where Sirianni's getting, that Howie Roseman's getting involved in game planning. And that's probably the reason. I mean, there's no evidence that it's happening, but there's no evidence on that whole entire situation that's actually happening. Matt says they say Bills and Dolphins are opponents they should be scared of. What a joke. John says, y'all got a season win and acting like you won a Super Bowl, but worry about finishing your season. You only even lock number one Dallas for sure ain't closing. That's what I'm saying, dude. There's still so much football left. There's still another 4 weeks of football and the fucking playoffs. Simple as that. There's so many more weeks left. I mean, you can't be on your high horse now. I mean, it's not like Dallas even shut that. I mean, it's not a shutout. It's not a broom. I mean, you didn't sweep this team. The team just whooped our ass. And obviously that's good enough, and that's what it is. It'd be the same way if it went the other way around. It'd be the same way. The same exact way. PA Sports says, what pisses me off, Nick's attitude on the press conference, like the team is not playing bad at all. No. He's like, oh, all these guys have been through adversity, and, they've all been through some shit in their lives. It is what it is. DB says, all you can do is take care of your business one game at a time. Oh, that's it. Yeah, of course. Got to take it one game at a time. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I was as truthful as possible in my last video on this team and just going forward, and some people didn't like it. This is going to be where your fan base, every time your team gets destroyed or something happens like this is where your fan base starts to split a little bit, and where negative Eagle fans will fight with positive Eagle fans, and guys in the middle will fight with both. And that's pretty much how it goes. 374 in the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you hit the like button like crazy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Eagles content every day. Love all you. Trolls, everybody. Just supporting. Appreciate it. Alex says, look at our points scored and points against. You'd think we'd be a 3-win team. I know. That first half of games makes a huge difference, dude. It makes us look statistically really bad. You know what I mean? Chris Cobbin Jr., what's going on, man? Appreciate the super chat. Says outscored 75-32 in 2 games. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. I think the last 11 drives for Sean Desai, they've been outscored like 61 points in 11 drives. I mean, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, dude. You know? I know this Eagles roster isn't bad. I know it's not. You could probably go to the defense and say, linebackers, whatever. Okay, I get it. But when you're playing off-ball coverage like that, any team that would run that scheme is not going to survive the season. No one's going to survive the season. DB says, all right, it's been fun. Smash the like button. See you later. Good luck. Appreciate DB. You have a good day, man. You have a good day. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the week. And of course, the Eagles are going to be on primetime on Monday night. And, yeah, hopefully not get their ass kicked, but we'll see. Edward says 49ers not in the clear. They're either Baltimore or not. No walkover team. No, I don't think so. I think Baltimore is going to be – I think Baltimore will be the top. I think Baltimore will end up being top of the AFC. I do. Willie Vash says, Joey, your team is going to be okay. I'm not worried about the team not being okay. Like the Eagles will get into the playoffs. Even if the Eagles don't get the 1 or the 2 seed, I really don't care. I'd rather the Philadelphia Eagles take the toughest road to get, to at least the Super Bowl, or I don't know. I mean, it seems like everybody has given up, and it's not like I'm really giving up that much. Like, there is time here. It's not like this was the last game of the season. Like, there is 4 weeks. But if they get their ass kicked against Seattle, then they're just not getting out of their own way. Then really it's Howie Roseman to Nick Sirianni to all of the control he has over both his coordinators and what he wanted going into this offseason. And I think serious changes are going to have to be made. We can't say anything. They're 10-3 right now. We can't say much of anything but what we're seeing from these last 2 games. They got their ass kicked. They got punched in the mouth 2 times already. But it doesn't mean I don't know what the foreseeable future is of this season. For by all knows, they could just start winning all of a sudden. They could start looking a lot better all of a sudden. So Richie says, what's going on, Rich? He says, poor clock management. The Eagles game was lost when the Eagles left too much time on the clock that allowed the Cowboys game wrecking touchdown. And the Eagles got was a field goal. Yeah, I mean, that's not even half of it, dude. I don't care about the penalties. I don't care about any of that shit, those little things, because that wouldn't have made a difference. Okay. None of that. Yeah, maybe the 3rd and 15 with the PI call, maybe that would have made a difference in some cases, but not for the whole entire game. The Eagles haven't played good football all year. They haven't played. They've played some fighting, resilient football, but it doesn't mean that they're playing well. It means that they're fighting to get these wins, and in a way that a lot of teams can't do this. You put the team on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. That's what was going on every single week. Now, because KC's losing some games now, and now KC sucks. That's why the Eagles beat them. It's fucking stupid, dude. It's like, no respect towards any fucking win. Not one win this year. Got no respect for it. And now the Eagles are totally, not only were they written off, they were exiled. I mean, just exiled at this point. So, it is what it is. Rylan says, would you consider bringing Chauncey back in a heartbeat? Because that man could fire up a defense. Could fire up a defense easily. It's unfortunate, I thought Chauncey was he was a tone setter. You lose a guy like that, yes, makes a difference. I thought he was probably one of the most important players we let go of. TJ Edwards is now one of the most important players we let go of at linebacker. And there was something with him, man. I knew it. From when Jim Schwartz had TJ Edwards as an undrafted free agent, and he showed flashes, and we kept saying, man, like, he was showing some things and just wouldn't ever play him. The Eagles finally got their hands on him. They only re-signed him one other time. And then that was it. He walked. And I think he was obviously very affordable. It's just unfortunate though. We got Space Cadet Entertainment. What's going on, dude? So what's up, Joey? How you? I'm good. I'm fine. It sucks, but I'm fine. Chris says, if we get blown out again, Nick has lost in the locker room. Yeah, I think he's already lost the locker room, dude. The players in the locker room right now are starting to complain. Like, no names all these anonymous names are coming out now. That's just the start of it now. Like you said earlier, like that's the start of it. It's anonymous names. You don't know who's saying what. That's just the start of where players are starting to revolt now. And once the players start talking, and then your nucleus of this team, which is the culture, is already damaged at this point. So once that happens, I mean, changes are going to have to be made. A-Stack says it left a bad taste. My mouth taste. Yeah, it was bad. Dennis says, I feel like we're going to lose by the Giants, their playbook versus the Packers. Yeah, dude. But, dude, every team looks better than us right now because of how we played the last 2 weeks. Every team is looking that way. Got like, who's that guy? Don't have no idea who he is. Never seen him in my life. I don't know who these guys are. I don't get these guys. There's still 4 games of football in the playoffs left. Like, the Cowboys, they got to stop yapping, dude, because every time they yap and they jump in other people's chats, this is what happens every year. This is the shit that happens every single year. What's going on, Ryan? Colin says, Joey, things don't look great, but I think the panic inside the fan base and the national media is crazy. And that linebacker, I think we put too much of our eggs into Dean. Yeah, that's 100% true. The linebacker position is interesting, and I think at this point, I think they put way too much into him, no doubt. I think they did. They went to this offseason saying, "Oh, we got Nakobe Dean. We'll just sign some guys around him, whatever." That's what they did. And he's been on IR. He's been hurt 3 times this year. He's been IR. He's been on the IR 2 times already. So that really hasn't helped at all. We got J-Bo. What's going on with the super chat? Didn't say anything, man. But dude, you could have said something, man. Like it's a big super chat. I don't want people not saying anything, but I appreciate it so much, dude. Appreciate it so much. Lon says the Bills about to send America's team overseas. PA says, I feel the Seahawks game is going to be a shootout nail biter in the end. Rodney says our corners are old and slow. I blame Howie for not investing in our secondary like we should have. But dude, like the scheme is bad, dude. The scheme is worse than the players. The scheme is the bigger failure than actual players. Slay has played good the last 2 weeks. Slay played good against the Cowboys. He had 1 bullshit BI call. So, Richie says, Deuce Staley as OC, he would have ran the ball close to 50%. Panthers' talent was crap. It was his fault. Deuce Staley is available. Antonio Bones said, don't blame Dean. As crazy as that was the case, they would have played him last year. Well, Dean hasn't been healthy. Well, Dean not being available is a concern right now. I mean, three times he's been hurt, 2 times on IR. You know what I mean? Like last year, he didn't have he had some sample sizes, but he didn't play a whole game last year. He never got a chance to play last year. I'm not blaming Dean. Dean hasn't played, but Dean's not available to play, and that's not good either. That's worse than playing bad. What's worse than playing bad is not playing at all. I mean, that's just the truth. Matt says drafting and picking up new players ain't going to change. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I've been saying this shit all year. I've been saying you can add Patrick Surtain, and you could all this shit. The trade deadline, people were like, "Oh, we can get this guy and this guy." It doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, like, the scheme is going to be over the players. The scheme has more value over the players because it sets up the players for failure. Doesn't matter. You could put Patrick Peterson in his prime at cornerback in this off the ball system, and he's not going to survive. Nobody is. Deion Sanders could be in that position. Yeah, no one's going to survive that playing like that. We got Sir Trevor Essay. What's going on, dudes? The Nick Sirianni is very unlikable, has no answers. I mean, at this point, it's like, why hide from everything? Why hide from not giving the truth on, like, hey, we played like shit and, like, it's on us. And it's just like, I know he's just trying to defend his players, defend the coaches a little bit, but you can't at this point. I mean, what was the motivation this week? The players in this game looked flat. Nick didn't even talk to any of the players on the sideline. I mean, it was just embarrassing. This is how it sounded when the Niners lost 3 in a row. Oh, yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Luke's the Niners fan chiming in, wondering why Eagles didn't run more. Achilles heel of 49ers defense as they gets gassed on longest drives. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with the Eagles. The Eagles don't run in the first half that much. And when they start to run, it's too late. But they just weren't ready for that 49ers game. They didn't play with any purpose. They didn't play with any heart. They didn't play with any pushback. They literally treated that 49ers game like it was a regular game. That's just the truth. That's how they treated it, unfortunately. Kenyatta says, I know play calling sucks, but I blame Jalen Hurts. It just looks like he's trying to throw the games. He's not trying to throw the games, but whatever plays that are being presented to him and he has to do it. I mean, I think part of it is the injury that he has because they're not running. They're not using a lot of RPO. They're not really running him as much as they would. He just got paid this year. They're not trying to gash him that much. And I mean, look, it's just that's just what it is. I think with the play calling, I think Hurts is because of your offense. Hurts is looking worse because your offense is looking too predictable. It's the defenses are getting a jump on you when your game plans of literally 6-7 plays of the same shit. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's literally 6-7 plays of the same fucking bullshit. And I wish I had more of an answer, but Drip with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Very much appreciated. Drip says the scheme has to be thrown away. It's shitty. I don't know if this is Howie and Lurie and how they want the offense and defense playing. It's got to go. If Howie and Lurie and Nick need to look in the mirror, yeah. It comes down to dude. I get so confused because like I have a feeling it is from the top, and like Nick's supposed offense has been running the same shit every first half of every game. They run DeAndre Swift in the first quarter. Then they run Gainwell in the second quarter. They just did the same shit last game. Again. The same shit. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. That's just how it is. And I can't stand it. I don't get how your offense looks the same every first half of these games that we played where we pulled out wins. And it just seemed like after that Jets game, they didn't care. As long as they were winning the same way they've been winning, it didn't matter. That's the shitty part about it, dude. But appreciate the super chat, by the way. Steve with the super chat. Appreciate so much. The Sirianni is so damn corny. Wish we had a better head coach. What else is he going to say on a different week? I mean, what else is he going to say? I don't know what he's going to say. It's just to a point now where like Nick's got to be more like, dude, we need to make some changes. If I said, hey, we need to, if he said we need to make changes to play calling, we have to do better. This is not good enough. We have to really change ourselves. I would feel a little bit better going forward, but yeah, this shit it's not great. Guys, here, Jeffrey J. Bell, thank you so much, man. He says the coordinators are just as a disgrace, and now it looks like the players don't care. I feel like they need to speak up and say something. Oh, they're going to. It's going to happen. They're going to flip out. It's just wait. It's going to happen. It's already happening now. There's already these anonymous player. This anonymous player said this. This anonymous player said that. Derek Gunn, the beat writer for Philadelphia, or whatever, has already talked about the Eagles in the locker room, and he even said that there are players complaining on the offense, anonymous players complaining about the offense that, why does it take routes to develop for so long? Why can't we get the ball out quick? Another complaint was why the Eagles look too predictable on offense. It's already happened. It's already here. So that's just what it is. It's what it is, dude. It's true. It's already happening now. The players are already talking. It's already happening now. We got SA with the super chat. Thank you so much, because Jalen isn't 100% pocket passer. No, he shouldn't be. I think he's gotten a lot better. I think obviously this injury, I think it's definitely helped him. I think it's helped him become more of a better pocket passer, and we've seen some very, 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 very good throws. He had good throws in this game against the Dallas Cowboys. Devontae Smith dropped. A.J. Brown dropped. Fit it right in there. I mean, he had some good throws in that game. They were just dropped. I'm not really, the second and short, third and short when they just bomb the ball down the field. That's a whole nother thing. They take these unnecessary shots downfield, run with Jalen Hurts and QB draws when they just want to be lazy. Yeah, it just looks so vanilla, dude. Like, what do you have to, as a defense, what do you have to really defend? What do you have to really defend with this offense at this point? Like, what is there to look out for in this offense? That's the shit I'm talking about. Steven Jacora, what's going on, man? He says, our coordinators have to go and our secondary has to be addressed. Seems like our defense was better last year. Last year's defense wasn't good enough. Yeah, it was better than last year, but not good enough. Pass rush was great last year. Okay. Didn't blitz a lot last year. Blitz rate was definitely a lot lower. It's actually lower than last year's blitz rate is actually lower than this year. We're actually blitzing more this year. It doesn't seem like it, but we actually are. I'm already done with Slay after this year. I don't care if he had a couple good games. The last two games he played really well. I'm already done with Slay after this year. They got to go young at that position. I mean, no joke. They got to get younger at that position. Linebacker needs to be younger. I mean, you're going to go get Trotter if that's what you want to do in the late first. If there's a good chance you can get him in the late first, if that's what you're going to do. They don't draft linebackers early, and they necessarily don't even pay these guys either. So that's pretty much what's going on. Yeah, Josh Sweat was another one that just said, dude, I'm just tired of like the almost. Like he's tired of just not, he said this pass rush has to hit home, pretty much summarizing it. But it is what it is. Excuses. I didn't hear this when you were winning. Dude, the Eagles just got blown out 2 games straight. What are you talking about? Yeah, we were winning. And we lost 1 game against the Jets. We sat too many guys out. We overlooked the Jets. We didn't take them fucking seriously. Dude, we just got blown out 2 weeks straight. Yeah, obviously, dumbass. We're winning. There's not going to be much complaining like that. We weren't getting blown out. You don't get blown out when you're winning football games. They got blown out the last 2 weeks. It's just what it is. People are just fucking brainless at this point. Clean Music says, hell yeah, it takes forever to snap the damn ball. So many close delay of games. There's no quick passes. There's no hot route. There's no slants. There's no working middle of the field. Everything is slow. Jalen's motion with his arm, like everything looks so fucking robotic. It looks robotic as hell. It's not good. It's not good at all. B says, listen to Nick talk to like listening to a crackhead with a pipe in his hand fell apart. Literally say, I don't have a problem. Like, bro, what? Yeah. Phil said, Joey, is Nick a yes man to Lurie and Howie? Think about it. They fired Doug because he wanted to promote from within. Howie wanted a yes man, and Doug didn't do that. Howie or whoever wanted. Well, I thought Doug wanted to hire. I thought Doug was forced to hire from within. I don't think he wanted to hire from within. I think he was forced to hire from within. I don't think they want to hire any new blood, but Jeffrey Lurie is always going to pick Howie Roseman over his Super Bowl winning head coach and Doug Peterson, as we saw that happen a few years ago. And it will be no problem. I don't care if this team went to a Super Bowl or not. It doesn't matter. You fire a Super Bowl winning head coach, and this won't be any harder than what it is. So I don't know. Barron says, get a new DC. Dennis Allen would be nice if he gets canned. Yeah, maybe. Leslie Frazier would be another one. I don't know. I don't know who else. No shovel pass since Reed. Matt says, I hate to tell dumbass you must not see your complaints you made even when we were winning. And number two, dude, like number two, like I was complaining every fucking week when we were winning games. Every fucking week I was nitpicking, and people were pissed off at me because I was nitpicking when we were winning. So for those people that say that, probably have not been on this channel long enough. So that's where that comes in. That's all I got to say to that shit. Let's see here. We got to stick with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. It says we got Isaiah Rodgers next year. Who we letting go? Anybody at this point. I don't know. They got to cross-train a bunch of players. I'm not talking about next offseason. I'm not getting into all that. I'm not ready for that. I'm still in season mode right now. I'm not ready for the offseason yet. Not even close. Next 6 weeks, next 5-6 weeks, 6 weeks, we'll start talking about some things. If things don't unveil the way they are going to unveil, obviously if the Eagles lose in the playoffs and shit's going on, yes, more offseason talk will happen by that time. And yes, it will be free agency before anything and, coaches and what could be happening. So Logan says, Joey, do you think Nick Sirianni will be fired? I think it really depends on like if they win Monday and what they do in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to fire a head coach in season. I feel like they could I feel like they could fire a coordinator maybe, but if it's under Nick's control, then I don't know. If the Eagles wet the fucking bed, lose one and done in the playoffs, there's a big possibility. And I really hope it doesn't happen because I feel like Nick is a good coach. I just feel like we need to bring new blood for the coordinator positions. We need the coordinator needs more power. Okay. We need a precise veteran, non-yes man coordinator with the offense. And defensively, you just need to get some new blood in here. That's going to be more aggressive. More aggressive. Nathan says, been bitching all year because we saw this coming. Wish somebody would have listened and noped in the bud. Yeah, well, that's what happened. I bitched about it last year when our offense was one of the big, number one explosive offense in the league, and our defense was literally letting teams come back, and people were telling me, don't worry, like, this is how we played. This is what's going on. People were stabbing me to death over, giving Jonathan Gannon shit all year last year, and look what happened. That's why I speak my mind. I don't hide anything anymore. Not that I was hiding anything before, but I'm not hiding a fucking thing anymore. Simple as that. David says, I hate BrianJohnson. Why were there no screens to Swift during all those blitzes on third down? Yeah. It's not good, man. You know? Matt says, I tried defending that guy, Bradbury, but done defending them ever again. I get it. Good vibes only says Albert O, Julio, Penny, waste of roster spots. Personal usage sucks. Yeah, it does. Personnel usage is horrible. I think all three of those guys are a waste. You traded for Albert O in the offseason and did nothing with him. You traded for Penny, did nothing with him. Trade for not traded. You signed Penny. First running back signing this past offseason. Didn't do a damn thing. Made it look like we were going to use him for red zone. Having a big body running back. Waste of a roster spot. Julio Jones. He's got one touchdown, maybe another catch. Not much. What did he do? Absolutely nothing. So, Chris says, got to get new blood because we'll never have a receiving core like this again. No. You got Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown next year. Devontae Smith is due a contract extension next year. A.J. Brown will be a free agent as well the year after. He'll play throughout the 25 season. Then we'll be a free agent after that. So it really depends, man. Really depends. Colby with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. So what would you think about moving Blankenship or Brown at linebacker? The Cowboys did with Bell. They both can hit, but are good enough cover. I mean, yeah, it'd be great. The problem is we don't have a DC that recognizes anything like that. I like Sidney Brown playing at safety. I think he should play safety. I think he should cross-train the nickel a lot more, but I definitely like Sidney Brown at safety a lot, actually. They just even against the 49ers, he played pretty damn good, and then they took him out of the game. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother thing. B says BrianJohnson is why you don't mix family and business. Anyone else might be fired. Yeah, it could be it. Yeah, it's not always the most it's not always the most important thing. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So hold on one sec. Extend Josh Sweat or Reddick. Well, Reddick's got one more year. Sweat, I'm not sure. I think Sweat has one more year as well. BG says it's a year-to-year league. Dak led the league in interceptions last year, and we were awesome, and we're awesome new year. Slick says Marquand Manuel from New York Jets from DC next year. He was part of the creating the Legion of Boom in Seattle and followed Dan Quinn to Atlanta, currently with Jets, and they have a top defense this season. This all depends on Howie Roseman and to Nick Sirianni. This is what it depends on. It depends if Howie Roseman is going to say, okay, let's change this, and Nick Sirianni is not going to have any say in what coaches are being hired to his liking. Obviously, he needs to get along with these guys, but I think that's what it comes down to. Just calling Flair says, fire BrianJohnson, bring Frank Reich. That could be a possibility. Young boy said, what up, Joey? What's the point? What a disappointment. This team has all the pieces talent-wise. Curious at what point do they start to think, okay, let's change the game plan? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like this week, why not? This week should be the week where they say, hey, let's change this shit. And it just, from their press conferences last night, it just didn't fucking seem that way. It didn't seem that way. Jim Caldwell wouldn't be bad. I mean, if he could still coach. I mean, I don't know if can he actually still coach still. I mean, he's a lot older now. Andrew Nathan, RPS, the super chat. Thank you so much. Said if Nick gets fired 2 years, Lincoln Riley would be the favorite to replace him. I still have faith in Nick and the team. I don't feel like Nick is going to get fired in season. There could be a possibility he gets fired after the season's over. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't. But I think things need to change if Nick is still here next year. Like less control on who he hires, bring some new blood in for new coordinator. And look, if if the analytics are going to be a problem and they're still going to do it, they need to do things manually now a little bit more. Okay, analytically, it's not bad to use analytics. It's not bad to use analytics at times, depending on obviously intel from other teams and what the weaknesses are. And if we run this play, this is the probability of where it could be successful. Like, to use it a little tiny bit, it's not a big deal, but to use it as your whole offense, where you have no feel for the game, you have no identity. At 10-3, you have no identity right now. Nick has got to let go before anything happens. First, Howie Roseman needs to say, okay, we need to change things up. And Nick, you need to just let us hire who we want to hire. And that's why a lot of coordinators don't want to be here, because they have to follow certain cadence from up top. And I think that's why Brian DeBall was never with us as a head coach. That's why Brian DeBall even canceled his interview with the Eagles, because he knew what he was getting into with Howie Roseman. Unfortunately, that was a problem. B said, "Is B Matt Patricia fault? He is from the Pats, sabotage from the inside." Yeah, right. They could fire Sean Desai this week and say, "Hey, Matt Patricia, why don't you take over play calling?" I mean, that could happen, but is it my favorite thing? Probably not. Probably not my favorite thing I would want them to do at all. Colton says, I think Hurts shouldn't be getting as much as he's getting. He's not blame free, but BJ Sirianni are fucking him over with play calls, and they ain't firing no one at 10-3 this season. No. They're not firing anybody. Mikhail Cox says, thanks for speaking on how you feel, Joey, and staying on your business. You're allowed to be upset. We all are. Don't matter who beat us, but how they beat us. This team is unhappy about something. From what was said, this team is uninterested when it comes to the coaching staff, uninterested in playing, and uninterested in how the offense and defenses have been running. And it shows on the field. I'm not seeing a guy bring a whole bunch of guys together and try to get everything, try to punch somebody in the mouth. I don't see a bunch of guys flying around on defense to the ball. I'm not seeing any sense of urgency at all from offense or the defense. I mean, nothing. It's completely dead at this point. Self-made entertainment, what's going on? So what if they change the game plan because Lurie and Howie are involved? So what, you think they're not involved? You think they aren't involved to this point? So you think Nick, you think Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman aren't even involved at all? I mean, it could be it. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. KX says our weapons aren't a problem. It's how predictable we are. That is 100% true. It's scheme. I'm blaming more of the scheme and the coaches over the roster. 100, especially offensively. Offensively, there's no fucking excuse. Now, the Eagles are one of the best teams on first down. They're literally the last ranked team on second down, third down, and fourth down on defense. Now, I know. Sorry, offense. Sorry, I got confused. They are literally the worst team. It's that bad. It's bad. Defense is almost the same thing. I actually got that wrong, but we'll see. It's crazy shit, dude. Ma says everybody wanted last year's coordinators fired. Yo got what yo wanted. Gannon throwing away the Super Bowl like that and the illegal tampering, that was a big one. That was a big no-no. Steichen was a loss. Losing Steichen upset me. It upset me. Andrew says how he picks who's active and inactive. They're dead last on defense on third down and second down and fourth down. They're dead last. They're dead last except first down. They're dead last on every down except first down. That is true. Nathan says, yeah, they're still hoping around that the line on D before the play. Wait for the call to come in. It's absolutely horrible. Tom says, nobody wants Steichen gone. Miss him so much. Yeah. Does Smitty resign? No, he's up for an extension. Yeah, so he's up for an extension next year. Yes, 100%. The Eagles are keeping Devontae Smith. There's no doubt. He was drafted here. He's a homegrown talent. He was drafted here. He's definitely signing. He's definitely re-signing. Ghost says, should have kept Denard Wilson over hiring Desai. I think that was a big mistake. I think Denard Wilson brought a fire to that corner room when he was here. Brought a big fire here. No joke. It's fucking hot as shit in here. My fucking work shirt. My work shirt. All right. We got a super chat from Fugly Gang. Says, is the scheme picked by Howie or Nick? That's the question. I don't know. That's the answer. I have no idea. I have no answer for that. I honestly have no idea. From what I think it's mostly Nick, but we'll see. I think it's mostly Nick. I think it's accepted by Howie, and Nick just runs and does whatever he does. He wanted the same Jonathan Gannon off-the-ball scheme that we played last year. He wanted another coach that could run it. Cold said, I hope Shaq Leonard intensity steeps into the deep pause. The pregame video where the team walked around, he was only one hyped up, trying to get pumped up. Yeah, look, people were bitching. People need to chill the fuck out, dude. This is his first game. What do you think he's going to do? On top of this bad scheme, what do you think he's going to do? I don't think he got any snaps until, the end of the second quarter, maybe the second half. He's just got here this week. Got to give it time. We have time, but only just enough time. Young Boy Majesty says it's deeper than players and coaches, and no way you go all year like this without any adjustments. That's what I don't get. How do you go the entire year? Every first half, the first halves look almost the exact same, especially in your running game. You guys remember, like I said it earlier in the stream, remember their running game style is using different running backs for different quarters. They would use DeAndre Swift for the first quarter. They would use Kenneth Gainwell for the second quarter. And they would run bubble screen, QB draw, inside zone run. The inside zone run is the only run play they actually know. There's some other motion runs they've done, very rarely in games. They've done a few times, but just not enough. Definitely not enough. No doubt. Masa, love you all, but can't complain when you get killed and act like you're the best team when you're winning. And if the Eagles won, that would be saying, what do you, dude? You sound so stupid. Yeah, of course, if the Eagles win a fucking game, I'm going to be happy. No fucking shit. Any fan would be fucking happy. What are you talking about? Any fan would be happy if they won a fucking close game. If they demolished a team, it wouldn't fucking matter. Yeah, the Eagles got their ass kicked 2 straight weeks. I don't know if you're 15 years old, but I don't know. Some guys, the way they talk, they sound like no shit. If we won a game, we'd be fucking happy. No shit. Thank you. Holy shit, I just realized that. But Cowboys need to worry about Bills as well, as goes both ways. Just going Flair says the only thing we can hope for is game momentum off the last games for us, but we're gonna give up 30 to the Seahawks. They if they make no adjustments, we're in for a fucking, and this sucks. This is a fucking, this game was flexed from Sunday at fucking 4:30 to now Monday Night Football. Ryland says the 4th and 9 we went for, watching Dallas blitz the way we did, we all could think is, damn, our defense could never blitz. We don't know how to blitz, dude. We don't know how to blitz. We don't know how to blitz. They do not know how to because they're not taught. Because this scheme doesn't blitz. Barely. They barely do it. And when we do, it's, see, when Dallas blitzed on us, it was like a closing wall from the inside to the outside, closing in. Perfect. Looks really good. Those fucking guys know how to blitz. Those guys are coached well. Every other defense in the league could probably blitz, and we don't know how to fucking blitz. We just don't. You know, that's what it is. Sval says Howie has some blame as well. Not drafting linebacker has gotten us the position. Oh yeah, I mean that's no doubt. Colin says if all Shaq brings intensity, energy, and heart, I'll be happy because we were lacking in that department badly. Yeah, we're lacking. We're lacking leadership, and we're lacking a fucking player that puts. I mean, emotions only take you so far, too. Emotions only take you so far. So that's how it goes. That's it. Nate says, "Yup, the D looks like a shit Chicago." Yeah, accountability is probably the number one thing that they don't take into progression of it. You know what I mean? That's another thing that's horrible as of right now. This is when the game was still in reach. Why did they pass the ball on 3rd and 2? It was a horrible call. Oh yeah, the 3rd and 2 was hard. They like to pass on 3rd and short. I don't know. They don't know how to run the football. They're literally allergic to running the fucking football. And then even if you run the football, there were times where they were running the football, but it was inside zone run. And I mean, there's no other type of running plays they know. You know? Can't say I really don't get why our secondary isn't tackling. If the opponent running back's that good, or guys not willing to tackle, they seem to be escape. Well, I don't know. From Slay's point of view, they don't want to. He doesn't want to tackle a certain way because of his future. He wants to retire and have a healthy lifestyle. So, nobody wants to smack anybody in the fucking mouth. The only two players that give big hits is Sidney Brown and Reed Blankenship. Those are the only two guys that will pack a fucking punch. Besides the trenches, obviously. I'm talking about the secondary in general. Ryan says Hurts low-key looking trash on the read options. He makes the wrong read off. And sometimes they're late. Sometimes he doesn't know whether to hand the ball off or keep it for himself. It's so late, and it's just so you're not fooling any defenses with it. So that's how it goes. But other than that, guys, I mean, we have 318 people in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We cover the Eagles every single day. Make sure you like the stream up. Appreciate it so much. Got a lot to go over this week, and I'll have some videos out tomorrow. Big video out tomorrow, and more content. So we won't stream it. We probably won't stream again until Friday. We're not going to stream until Friday probably again, and then obviously we'll have the weekend and stuff like that. So, we'll have some stuff out today, Chris. Yeah, we'll have some stuff out today. So, make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, and we'll have more content out. Appreciate everybody that's supporting. Thank you for all the super chats, memberships, all that great stuff. today. And yeah, boy, see what they do. And I really don't care what anybody else says. I get off this shit perfectly fine. It is what it is. The Eagles are what they are right now, and let's see what see what they do. See what they do. We'll see what happens. But it is what it is. It's football at the end of the day. And that's it. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, Files? Peace out, guys. Base.